Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're taking a very bright look at a particular streamer, Joeneverfails. Joe is a really good Final Fantasy player. He's probably one of the better Final Fantasy players that I know. He does a really good job. But that's where it ends. Joe is a bit of a mystery. He's a bit of a character. He also builds communities and then decides to dump these communities. Now, the main community that I'm talking about today is Star Wars and the Old Republic. That is probably the cream of the crop that I want to talk about. He had about 850 members in a guild that he created, because he is a content creator. But the thing is, when you build a community, you don't desert that community that you've built. So what happened is Joe was doing so much, so positive for the game, but really that positivity that he did was fake. It wasn't real. He's only in stuff for the money. I mean, you can't blame him, can you? He is trying to make a living. But should you build a community? Should you lead that community on like Joeneverfails did with the Star Wars: The Old Republic community? No, you should not. If you get 850 members into a guild that you created, you should stand by those players. You don't desert them. You don't leave them. Now, he isn't responsible. He did the same thing on the server Joenova in Final Fantasy. I actually transferred from another server, and he really didn't do anything with the people on there. He does still play Final Fantasy, yes, I believe he does. He doesn't stream it, even though that's the cream of the crop that he plays. He plays Black Desert Online. Is he good at that game? Well, to me he looks good, but I've heard that he's not. But back to Star Wars. Okay. After Joe hadn't logged in for 30 days, the GM... the guild master is put down to the next person, as long as they're an officer, or to the next active member. I mean, if an officer hasn't logged in, like I hadn't logged in due to my sub lapse for a couple of days, I didn't get GM. That's fine. But then I approached Joe and asked for GM. He said sure. When I get time, I will make sure that you have GM of the guild, and you can do what you want with it, because he was not returning to the game in any near future. He was done with Star Wars. He was also an influencer, Star Wars influencer. Now, there are people out there that try and be an influencer, but they get turned down. So this guy has not just rubbed and done the dirty on his players and his guild. He's done it to Bioware as well. I think Joe really needs to take a step back in life. He's not the best. Now let's look at his the Star Wars. So, as he said, once he said that, I had a plan. My plan was to disband the guild. Nobody should deserve to be in a guild that has been, how Joe has treated each and every one of those members of that guild, deserting them. So my plan was to disband the guild. I never got GM, unfortunately, so I could only do the next best thing, and that was remove everybody from the guild that was not an officer. If I was GM, I would have given Esmok and Audril and other officers, I would have spread the guild bank proceedings out. None of it would have gone to Joe. He doesn't deserve it. And then disband the guild. But when I told Joe, I was straight up. I said, look, you've taken too long. I had to take steps by myself. And he didn't like it. How can you be upset when you've actually deserted the player base that you built? Do you think these players are going to come back if you come back? No, they're not. Not at all. So he's complaining to other people about having 850 members. No, he didn't have 850 members. 250 people had already left his guild. Because they were so... I don't know if they were angry, but they would have felt betrayed. And that's normal. But Joeneverfails didn't leave it there. He started spurting off to his mods, blah 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 blah, as he would. Well, the funny thing is, he used to be the partner of Pocket. She's a very successful streamer, not like Joe. He is coming up in the ranks, but she is successful. Now, there was a video circulating of the police at their home. Apparently she was crying. Now, I've heard rumours, I've read this, read that. I can't remember who told me, but someone said Joe might have got her pregnant and she had to he forced her to have an abortion. That could be all bullshit. That's not, you know. And then someone else, I think, said that he beat her up. I don't know what happened, but he's not in the good books. Definitely on that side of the planet with Pocket. And you look at him now, he looks like a drug. He's gone back to his old days. He may not have, but he doesn't look like he's in top shape. He looks like a crack addict. Doesn't look exactly welcoming. And he definitely doesn't have his old setup. Something's gone down. I do wish Joe the best. But you need to stop building communities in games. Games that you're not going to play. I mean, even your guild on... I can't remember that RP server that you're on. One of the most popular servers. They merged with another guild because of something. I don't know what. It's not really my business. But Joefails, all I can say is you have failed this community. And since you have failed the community, you should never come back. You're a disgrace. And you've cost people money. You've made people transferred from other servers for you. They transferred over continents to send, you know, from EU to US. And all you did was desert them. And I just hope that, you know, you'll never be as successful as some streamers. But all I can say is I wish you luck. And just don't poison the next community like the BDO community. How long is it going to take until you poison that one too? Over and out. Everybody have a good day. It's a wonderful day here. So I'm going to enjoy it.